What up, YouTube? This is a video of a rebuild and redesign of a S.W.R.L.a. 15, which I'm now calling an S.W.R.B.A. 15. Stands for BadAzz, hence that's me. I found it in my neighbor's yard, and I started on this project long before I had a YouTube channel, so I didn't get any video of it. I just took pictures. I was just trying to basically show before and after type things, but I wanted to put this video together and make it a photo clip video for everyone to see. It turned out pretty freaking awesome, and yeah, so hopefully you enjoy. Let's get to it. So to get started, like I said, I found this in my neighbor's yard. They were throwing it out. It was in pretty rough condition. A lot of the original Thanx was ripped off and worn off. And the grill was kind of, nasty looking. It's a bass guitar amplifier, and somebody spilled Coke in it. Everything seemed to work except for the inputs. Some of the pieces on the volume, treble, and bass. The power did come on. The speaker worked great. Nothing wrong with anything other than that one circuit board that you're looking at right there. Anyways, so I just, I got it and I took it apart, and I started off with the body, the wood. There was multiple places that were rotten on it, on the wood. You can see the darker spots. Anywhere you see the darker spots is pretty much rotten wood. I'm gonna try to do this video in sequence so that you can see each individual area as it's done. We started off with the doing the wood, sanding it down, trying to get a lot of the interior glue. It had some cotton inside of it. The grill was stretched out, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to keep it or not. The glue was pretty on there pretty well. I decided to replace the front, the baffle, the speaker baffle, and took it all out. Made a big mess, of course. Moved on to get some more of that glue out, and just kind of took my time with it. You can see the staples sticking out there at the bottom, and there was so many of those staples, it was insane. Ended up taking all those staples out, obviously, and when I did that, it pulled some plugs of MDF out, because this is all MDF. I decided to make a new speaker baffle, and I drew it out, tracing the original speaker that was in it, and then just measuring out my lines for everything. I decided to take the bottom off. It was also pretty rotten and just not really repairable so much. If you can see some of the damage on the bottom of that speaker, it obviously sat in water for a little bit or something. So I cut the new bottom, and it was a long process from start to finish on this project, but once I got the bottom cut, I rounded those corners off just to match it up with the existing part of the box, and that came out real nice. I was pretty happy with it. I used I think 1/2 inch MDF, and at that point I was like, well, I got everything solid on there. It's looking good. I think it's about time to fit the board for the front speaker baffle. And here you can see I did that right here. And then after I had it fit and everything, that's actually upside down, but actually after I had it fit, I went ahead and you know, just cut everything out. And about to show that here where I cut it out. So this is the baffle. So I drilled some holes to run the jigsaw, which was the easiest way, obviously, to cut a circle out. And I got it cut out, and it was looking real good. So I took some sandpaper to it and give it old sandy sand. And there's the piece that I cut out. The top speaker was a Harley piece of crap tweeter, but I just kept it anyways. And once I got the new speaker baffle on, I realized that the front needed to have some more pieces to hold it in. So you can see I replaced them with some 1x4 right there. And I tried to take a lot of pictures of this so that, you know, you could really see the detail that it was done. When I replaced everything and put it all back together, I used some drywall screws. They worked out really well. Right here is where I just put in some wood filler and pretty much tried to put it in everywhere there was a hole on the outside of it. The wood filler worked really well. I don't know if you've ever used it before, but yeah, it's don't remember who makes it. There's the original back door, and it was kind of beat up, you know, as you can see. So I decided to put some wood filler in, and I was going to turn it into an actual door instead of bolting it on and actually have hinges. So gave it some wood filler and then sanded it down, which it didn't need a whole lot of work. It just looked really bad, and then I painted it flat black. I decided to paint the interior of the box flat black because the overall colors that I'm using here is black, purple, and white. So just to hide any discrepancies in the future of building this, I figured the black inside the box would be great. Hide anything. And yeah, got a lot of pictures in. I sanded it down some, and then reapplied another coat of paint. And once all that was done, I decided to move on to the actual amplifier itself. This is the amplifier, and I knew that I wanted to replace these stickers. These stickers were the original stickers that were on the back, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna do the back in white somehow and then make the new stickers in purple, and that was my idea. So I just took pictures of these and I sent it off to a friend of mine, and he made me some new decals to go on there, and he made it perfectly. It was insane. I just gave him some measurements basically of each picture and showed him. Then once those pictures were taken, I took and sanded the back, taped it off around the circuit board, sanded that down, gave it a coat of flat black on the interior part of it. And then on the front, I decided that I wanted to use this carbon fiber that is white, and it's actually vinyl. So I put that on the back, and it worked out really well. I did use it for the front too, which you're about to see the front. So then I attacked the front control piece, which is metal, and sanded it down real good after I got some pictures of it, and hit it with the flat black, sanded it down some more, hit it with the flat black, and eventually came out with this very nice finish on it. Obviously I was going for white, so I just wanted that to be my base coat. So I used the flat black and both sides, and did some measuring to make sure the stickers were all the right sizes, so my guy could get them right. And then I painted it with some white epoxy paint. It's usually used for refrigerators and stuff like that. Then I applied my white carbon fiber vinyl to the front of this stuff, and I think I got that stuff for like $5 for a roll or something. I don't remember. I decided to make a new back door because the old back door was just horrible. You know, it was beat up and dirty and nasty, and so I hand cut this window at the top with a chisel. And chiseling MDF, you would think is hard. It's not really that bad. So that came out really well. I was pretty happy with it. So I decided to move on to the circuit board. This was one of the original inputs. Took it off. You can see all the coke in there, and obviously you can't use that, so that's one of the ones that I took off. I attempted to replace the main input myself with one of these. They were the right inputs, however I'm not really good at soldering, so I attempted this one piece on the left here on the circuit board, you can see, and the other three I said, well, I'm just gonna have to send it off. So I sent it off and had somebody else do it for me. Like I said, I'm not good at soldering, so then at this point I put in the control box for the lights, the LEDs, and then I ordered some speaker covering, and the first bit came bent up, so I had to reorder it, and this is the new one. And that's actually some white chalkboard masonite that's on top of the speaker baffle. It's glued to it. Then I decided to jump over here on the hardware, and I wanted to add some new hardware that didn't exist prior. So this piece here, their handles and a new input for an extra speaker jack, hinges, screws, painted all black. This is the port. I actually found this at a big box store, the orange one, and this port was made for a drain, but the pattern in it was perfect to match up with the fabric that I got, and also the speaker coverings. So there's the handles, painted the interior of them white, stripped the tape off, painted it clear, and after I got the stickers back and the circuit board back, I put everything back together and it came out beautiful. Decided to go ahead and put some sound dampening material inside. It did have cotton, but I didn't want to use that, so I used this, and it went in nicely with some spray adhesive. This little piece right here actually made out of the old speaker grill that they sent me originally. I put some clear coat around the control part, and I added fabric to the back door. Now that didn't get cut straight away perfect, but it came out pretty good. And I put some sound dampening material inside, and I moved on to the box itself. At this point, there's maybe a few repetitive pictures in here. This is showing the Westwood contact cement is what I applied on the wood itself, and then I used Loctite spray adhesive on the fabric, let it dry for about 10 minutes, maybe 20, and then pushed it together, and then used a linoleum roller on top to get it all nice and flat. It worked out perfectly. I basically went ahead and cut the holes out of the material for all of the handles and the top piece where the control piece goes, and moved on to trying to tighten these corners up. And the corners were the hardest part to do. I've never done this before, so they didn't come out perfect, but they came out decent. And so ultimately I'm happy with the outcome. As you can see, they're not perfect. So at this point I just let everything dry for 24 hours, and then I put on the feet. And then I started putting some of the hardware in. And once that hardware was done, I decided I need to take a look at these speakers, and I took a paint pen that is white to this speaker, and it actually worked perfectly. Covered it up. There's the amplifier back. My new stickers came in and my vinyl was on, so I applied it. Then I put everything into the door. There's the handles and the port. The stickers were amazing. I can't believe how well they came out. Then I just basically started adding all the rest of the hardware and got it wired back together. And there's the speaker inside, wired back up. I did put those hinges on the bottom of that door so it opens from top to bottom. This is the top, and the remote for the LEDs came out beautiful. Then I just switched it on and checked it out. It was booming hardcore. I loved it. The LEDs really set it off. And yeah, as you can see, it came out very well considering what I started with. Like I said, I've never done this before, so this is the first time for me. But this is the old, and you know, this is the new. I still may do some more stuff to it in the future, but hey, if you like this video, leave some comments, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.